In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we have a new lesson for second secondary grade, second semester English subject 4B Reading Traveler 4. This lesson is prepared by Mr. Muhammad al-Bahiri and presented by Muhammad al-Thani. Today we will practice reading an article titled Fearless Explorer, Extraordinary Sportsman. Then we will practice reconstructing a gap text. After that, we will practice identifying word meaning in context. Warm-up. What physical and mental skills does one need in order to travel around the world using only man-powered means of transport? How long do you think such a journey would take? Now we have some words that can help us to answer these questions. Physical fitness. Physical means related to the body. Fitness, to be fit. Endurance, the ability to endure. So what's the meaning of endure? Endure, to suffer something painful or difficult patiently. Determination, the quality of being determined. Firmness of purpose. Al-Israr. Motivation, the reason that makes you or makes someone or somebody do something. Tahfiz. Courage means that you fear nothing. Patience, to be able to endure something. For example, if you feel pain and you don't tell others, you are patient. Now we will read this text and we will have an exercise after this text. Let's read together.
Fearless explorer and extraordinary sportsman. Throughout history, there have always been people who have attempted what others consider to be impossible. Whether they are explorers traveling to unknown parts of the world or universe, athletes breaking records, or individuals seeking adventure, these people have put their physical and mental strength to the test and managed to do amazing things. Jason Lewis, an Englishman, is one such adventurer and sportsman. He embarked on a man-powered journey around the world that lasted 13 years. Jason and his teammate, Steve Smith, wanted to test both their physical and mental abilities to the limits, as well as encourage team cooperation.
Look, here we have a gap, and later on we will fill it with a sentence. Now, before we continue, you should know the meaning of sit-off. What's the meaning of sit-off? Sit-off means to start a journey. So let's continue.
The two men set off from the Greenwich Meridian on the 12th of July 1994 in their attempt to travel around the world. So Jason continued and completed the first solo man-powered journey around the world, a total of 46,505 miles, in October 2007. During the trip, Jason relied on many different forms of transport. He walked and swam. He also cycled from Singapore to Mumbai, India, and later through Ethiopia and Sudan, as well as through Turkey and mainland Europe. He broke both his legs, one of which became so infected due to blood poisoning that it was under threat of being cut off below the knee. A typical day on board involved many different but repetitive activities, such as sleeping and waking in 3-hour shifts, fishing, cooking, washing up, and also taking care of personal hygiene. He also checked weather reports to predict stormy weather, kept a detailed record of his daily experiences, and made drinking water from seawater using a homemade device on the boat. When I asked him why it had been important to keep a record, he replied,
I had agreed with my sponsors to record the voyage using a camcorder and send reports via satellite to my website. On a daily basis, time for recreation was limited, and the only form of relaxation was to read and take down my experiences in a diary.
When I asked why he had undertaken such a long, dangerous journey, he replied,
Well, at first, what I had in mind was to follow the footsteps of the early navigators like Magellan.
Now, according to the context, what do you think the meaning of take down? Read and take down my experiences. Excellent, right. So, read and write. He wants to read and write his experience.
Jason remarked,
I had used up 8 of my 9 lives. The most important thing to do was to be alert all the time.
This turned out to be true, especially when he was approaching the final part of his extraordinary journey and was crossing a channel in a canoe. He suddenly realized that a 3-meter crocodile was going after him. He managed to escape just in time by jumping out of the canoe. And when he reached the shore, he hit the crocodile with a paddle. However, it snapped its jaws shut on the paddle and wouldn't let go. Another difficulty which he faced was in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, somewhere near Hawaii. Jason said,
For 3 weeks I would sleep and wake up to find myself at the same point as before. However, I kept telling myself to think positively and not to get discouraged.
Now we will have a comprehension exercise. Read the article again. Complete the gaps 1 to 6 in the article with the sentences A to H below. There are extra sentences which you don't need to use. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. And in the article, there are 6 gaps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want you to choose which sentence suits these gaps. Here, in number 1, there is a missing sentence. And here also a missing sentence. And number 3. And those sentences are A to H. You are required to fill the gaps with these sentences. So you need to understand the article perfectly. So now we are going to reconstruct a gap text. Let's read the sentences. A. Other tasks included navigation using the Magellan GPS to find lines of longitude and latitude so that he knew where he was. B. It has been a privilege to have done and seen so many things. C. Fortunately, by morning, the creature had disappeared. D. He rollerbladed across North America, where unfortunately he was knocked down by an 82-year-old reckless driver. E. At the same time, they also wanted to enhance international peace and understanding across cultures and promote environmental awareness. F. For the first 11 years, he worked his way around the globe and used the boat to raise money and find sponsorship. G. During his journey, he faced physical and mental exhaustion as well as life-threatening situations. H. However, Steve Smith decided to leave the expedition after 5 years when they reached Hawaii. Now, these sentences should fill these gaps. Let's think about them. For the first gap, what do you think the answer is? The answer is E. How did we say that it is E? let's read the sentence and find if E suits this place. Jason and his teammate Steve Smith wanted to test both their physical and mental abilities to the limits, as well as encourage team cooperation. At the same time, they also wanted to enhance international peace and understanding across cultures and promote environmental awareness. So it suits number one. So E suits this gap. Which number one? Now let's move to number two. What do you think the answer is? So what can we add here in this gap? Let's read the sentence. The two men set off from Greenwich Meridian on 12th July 1994 in their attempt to travel around the world. Set off means to start the journey. So what do you think the answer is? Excellent. The answer is H. Let's read H. However, Steve Smith decided to leave the expedition after 5 years when they reached Hawaii. So Jason continued and completed the first solo man-powered journey around the world, a total of 46,505 miles in October 2007. What about number three? What do you think the answer is? It is D. Let's read D. He rollerbladed across North America, where unfortunately he was knocked down by an 82-year-old reckless driver. Number four. The answer is A. Let's read A. Other tasks included navigation using the Magellan GPS to find lines of longitude and latitude so that he knew where he was. Number five. The answer is G. Let's read G. During his journey, he faced physical and mental exhaustion as well as life-threatening situations. What about number six? The answer is C. Fortunately, by morning, the creature had disappeared. Assessment. Match the highlighted phrasal verbs in the article with their meanings. So, those phrasal verbs was highlighted in the text: set off, take down, turn out, go after. I told you their meanings. So, what do you think? Set off? Excellent. As I said, start a journey. Take down, to write. Turn out, prove to do. Go after, try to get. So 1C, 2A, 3D, 4B. Okay, this is the summary of today's lesson. Today we had a text and practice reconstructing a gap text. Also, we have revised some phrasal verbs like set off, which means start a journey, take down means write, turn out means prove to do, and go after means try to get. These are our references and resources. For more information and lesson, you can visit our website or contact our Twitter account or our free phone. Thank you for listening. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.